what I mean? But it's two things we get every day we wake up, right? A chance and a choice. You know what I mean? And the choices that he make after he get his chance, that's on him. He have to live with that.
What does that sound, you ask?
From the number one station, you come.
Welcome to the Rec Show podcast, a show dedicated to beatmakers around the world. Kick back, relax with the host, Gldnmnd.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Yo, I know y'all vibing to this, man. This beat tape just came out from one of the amazing producers, creators over there at MSXI Audio, MSIMP Music, man. He came out with the beat tape instrumental album called Vibes, and that's VI, like 5 O's BES, man. Available on Bandcamp, available everywhere, man. It is a dope listen, man. You're gonna appreciate it, man. So yeah, we gonna vibe out. This is the intro music today, man. I asked him. He said, yeah, go ahead, man. Just make sure you tag me. So I'm gonna tag you in this, yo. But yo, this beat tape was amazing, fire, man. So but today we are going from Japan all the way over to, I want to say, New York / Cali, just because this individual travels all over the world and does some amazing things, man. Like a lot of my guests do, and you know that a lot of that stuff needs to be celebrated, man. He's also one of the, he puts on like the global beat ciphers. He's also a beat maker, a psychologist, a DJ, a cultural ambassador, an activist, doing some amazing things, man, in the community. He's also like one of the he puts on like where he teaches kids how to make beats and stuff like that, how to structure beats and stuff like that over at Today's Future Sound. So yeah, man, I want y'all to give it up for Dr. Beats, aka the one and only Phillip Drummond, philipdrummondbeats.com, man. Y'all welcome him to the show. Yeah, we're gonna vibe out to his music, hear from him, man. A little part of the audio is a little bit low. I tried to do my best to get it up as high as possible, but hey, man, we still gonna have a good time, man. So I hope y'all counting your blessings, not y'all problems, and we gonna be back, cause this joint is yeah, I'm gonna put the link to the description to this beat tape as well as everything that we talk about today, man. So yeah, man, sit back, relax, smoking if you got them, chill out, vibe out, put this on in your commute, in your headphones, where you bus, train, automobile, on a flight, all that, man. Go ahead, subscribe to the Rec Show podcast, man. Peace and love. We be back. Yeah.
aka Phillip Drummond, aka Philip Beats, aka Dr. Beats, aka Mortimer. You're tuned into the Rap Show podcast, a hip-hop show hosted by Gldnmnd every Sunday to spotlight wizards from all around the world.
To the Rap Show podcast, episode number 49, featuring Phillip Drummond. Yeah, we're about to get into it, man. So, Phillip, aka Filthy Beats. Let me ask you this, man. For beatheads and the internets, you know, it's time for them to wake up. So, go ahead, introduce yourself. Where you're from, what your name means, how your name was created, you know, any associated collectives, which I know you are a part of, you know, your nonprofits, all that type of stuff. Let the people know who you are and, you know, what you got, well, you know, what you got going on, man.
This is Dr. Ali again, aka Phillip Drummond, originally from New York City, born in San Francisco, now residing in Oakland, California, Bay Area. Phillip Drummond was a name that was given to me by my little homie when I was in college. He was still in high school, and I had kind of a less cool name that was less serious. I was kind of looking for a new alias, and he suggested it, and it hit. But I think it also has kind of irony in it. You know, it's like kind of not trying to own who I am, where I come from, because I come from a place of privilege, and I didn't grow up in it. I grew up, I wasn't like super rich, but I definitely came from, a decently well-off family. I think Phillip Drummond also has this kind of like, connotation in hip-hop culture too, where it's like people know it and they kind of chuckle it. If you're over 30, you get the reference. And it also kind of works in terms of filthy drums. And I really like dirty, filthy, grimy drums. Always like, grew up on the cool guy flavor. And also gotten to producing some jungle and drum and bass, so feel the drum and bass, feel the drum and bass. So it really works on many levels, but in terms of also really my ethnicity and privilege, kind of adopting African American, Black American culture. So if you catch the reference, you catch the reference. I think it makes people chuckle. I run a nonprofit called Today's Future Sound. I've been putting on a weekly live stream virtual cipher with beatmakers from around the world called Global Beat Cipher. # Global Beat Cipher for the past 102 weeks since COVID started. So definitely shout outs to my Global Beat Cipher family and Today's Future Sound family. We've got a lot of instructors here in Oakland, the Bay Area, Los Angeles, New York, Texas, Australia, South America, Central America, and beyond. It's definitely a big Global Beat Cipher and Today's Future Sound family. And also, I'm about to head to Poland at this point in time tomorrow to do hip hop diplomacy, teach beat making, share my beat making techniques, perform, etc. So shout out to the Next Level program, the U.S. State Department, and I'm a part of collectives, kind of loosely, aside from Global Beat Cipher and Today's Future Sound. I used to be part of an active participant in the Facebook forum More Beats Less Sleep, and then a spin-off of that, Omega Collective, part of that too. I'm also, I'm in a group project called Gldnmnd with TJ Ambush and Bada, and working on music. We'll have to put out a collaborative beat tape before our rap album comes out.
What Eddie got from Freud was indeed this idea that there is a lot more going on in human decision making, not only among individuals, but even more importantly among groups, than this idea that information drives behavior. And so Eddie began to formulate this idea that you had to look at things that would play to people's irrational emotions. And you see, that moved Eddie immediately into a different category from other people in his field and most government officials and managers of the day who thought if you just hit people with all this factual information, they would look at that and say, oh, of course. And Eddie knew that was not the way the world worked.
Yeah, man. Yo, hey, so when he says Dr. Beats, like, yo, don't sleep on that title. Like, he's a legit doctor, yo. Like, for real. So, yo, man. So, yeah, we gonna get all into the nitty gritty of Today's Future Sound. We gonna get into the nitty gritty of the collectives and everything like that. But as of right now, like, how did you begin your journey into music and sampling music and how to even search for samples and stuff like that, yo?
Well, music I started a long time ago because I've always been doing music as a kid. When I think about the journey, it starts coming from a musical family. My dad being a musician and a singer, playing piano when I was younger, taking piano lessons when I was about 12. I was also messing around with the computer, like manipulating sound. That was the precursor, and I really fell in love with hip hop and electronic music. And then in high school, really wanted to get turntables, wanted to DJ, wanted to scratch, wanted to be a b-boy, break, wanted to make beats. So in high school, really fell in love with hip hop and electronic music and beats. And I'd already been collecting records since the time I was 11 or 12 when I found a bunch of vinyl records that my neighbors had thrown out and started buying hip-hop records in high school at Fat Beats in New York City, where I grew up, and collecting records, digging for records. When I got to college, I had been thinking about buying an MPC or a beat machine, but they were really expensive, and I got to the college, and I went to this Sam Ash music store in New York City, and I was looking at buying a sampler, and the guy said to me, look, hardware is romantic and sexy, but if you're about to go to college and have a computer, there's a lot of programs on there. So I had already started experimenting on the first iteration of Fruity Loops on Hammerhead drum machine by Propellerhead, or Rebirth. There were two different drum machines, and experimenting with DAWs. And I want to say this Mixman Studio that came with a compilation on Records called Deep Concentration. and you could like remix stems from loops from that compilation and the album. So I got my computer. I started on my brother's computer probably like 11th grade, 1997, something like that, 98. By the time it was 99, going to college, got a computer, downloaded FL Studio, Sonic Foundry Acid, Kool-Aid Pro, shout out Peter Quistengard, and was starting to chop samples. And I already had the records and chop samples and breaks, getting more into hip hop, bought myself a real like DJing turntable. Eventually got a pair of Techniques, but I was always a hardcore hip hop head and beat head as soon as I kind of got into it, electronic music head. So yeah, and then. I think my parents listened to rock and, kind of mainstream rock in the 60s and 70s. I definitely got really into oldies when I was 9 years old. That's how I discovered Al Green and James Brown, like these oldies mixtapes I picked up at the flea market and swap meet. And then started to get more into like funk and soul and hip hop. And like after being into oldies as like a 9-year-old and 9 to 11, started getting into like prog rock and psych rock in the 70s, David Bowie, Lou Reed, Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin. I was getting into Zeppelin in 5th grade, and then, hip hop, Tribe Called Quest, Insanity in the Membrane by Cypress Hill, Scenario by Tribe Called Quest in 5th grade was really what turned me on to hip hop. I fell in love with that, Naughty by Nature, later Wu-Tang, growing up in New York City, the Beastie Boys. I had some influence from my parents, but like a lot of my own investigation and digging. One moment that sparked my interest in creating my own beats. I think I had, since the time I was 11 or 12, I had beats in my head, music in my head. I really just wanted to get it out and make music. So as I learned more and more about hip hop and computers, music technology, beat making, it was just a process. But like I remember going to HMV on 86th Street in New York City, going in the hip hop section, hearing 8 Steps to Perfection by Company Flow on the Stretch Armstrong for his first mix CD, and getting in that, and talking to the dude who recommended that CD and was playing it at HMV, and he gave me a beat tape. So I took home the beat tapes, listening to it, and was like, man, this is exactly what I want to do. I want to make raw, gritty beats like this. When was the time to let the internet hear my beats? I would say early college, and I got really hardcore into posting every single day for years on undergroundhiphop.com. Producer forum, I met Decaf, Slot Club Dust, Gldnmnd, people like that through that forum, and many of which became friends and collaborators in real life. So, it was probably like early 2000s when I've been making beats, and it was really underground hip hop. I started to put my beats on the beat threads on undergroundhiphop.com. Then I started working with MCs and rappers locally in the early 2000s. And I'm trying to think what my first official release was. It was probably in 2003, 2004. I started working with Franco, an MC from Humboldt County, Northern California, a really famous battle rapper, and some other MCs and singers, and then Blush One, music for Dope Runs, which took 3 years to make, but it was one of my opuses. Was really involved in the battle rap scene too, putting on MC battles, traveling all over the country. Just getting more serious from there, and I started, a monthly beat battle that I did for 10, maybe 11, 12, 13 years. The month after Dilla passed, the month after Donuts came out, started a monthly beat battle that I did like 10 years. It's crazy. I've done hundreds and hundreds of beat battles. I've done beat battles on every continent aside from Antarctica. And my goal is to do Antarctica soon. But that really got deep into the beat scene locally in the Bay Area, and then also on a national and international level. And I've done a lot of events and ciphers and stuff like that. We've learned about a lot of really dope beat makers, also through Instagram and social media.
tapped into Phillip Drummond, aka Dr. Beats, man. Yo, for real, doctor. Yeah, I mean, salute to you, doc, man. Yo, let me ask you this: what is one? Can you name like one beat that comes to mind as the greatest of all time beat that you heard in your life? You know what I mean? Like, and then do you remember the sample that was used? You know, or what beatmaker or music producer created said beat? Because that's important to know, man.
I mean, I would say for me, Above the Clouds, DJ Premier, Gangstar featuring Inspector Deck is one of the greatest beats of all time. Insane in the Membrane, produced by DJ Muggs, who's heavily slept on. A producer that most people haven't heard of, Sacred Hoops, Verse Murphy, who's like totally slept on. He's like an underground Prince Paul and was really innovative and influential for me in terms of like influencing my style of sampling like weird, quirky stuff you wouldn't think to sample, and like using ambient sounds as percussion and to add to the track and to create atmospheres and stuff. There's a track that really blew my mind. It was really kind of revolutionary for me, called Panhandlers, on the first Sacred Hoop EP, called Retired. The name of the album is Retired. And Panhandlers is the opening track, and it starts with ambient jungle animal noises and congas playing and this crazy droning deep bass, and then he throws the singing from this woman from Fellini's 8.5 on the beach, like the beach scene on top of it, and then adds Runaround Sue. Here's my story, it's sad but true, and it all works, and it's crazy. The 5 layers all put together on like an ASR 10, which is like, it was hard to do that back then, and it was just so creative. It created this atmosphere. It just really influenced me. So I think I've always been really influenced by him. He just made some crazy beats. Verse Murphy of Sacred Hoop. Portishead and Tricky really influenced me a lot. Jeff Blair of Portishead is an amazing slept-on hip-hop producer. He's trip-hop or whatever. DJ Shadow changed my life. Introducing changed my life. Changed how I understood drums and how perfect those beats are. It's just unfathomable. It's perfect. It still stands the test of time, so I can't really stick with one.
All different genres, man. Yo, that DJ Premier joint, definitely one of the dopest. Yeah, yo, Portishead, yo, I'm learning so much from every single guest, man. I go back and listen to the music and I'm like, yo, this is amazing music, man. So, man, that brings me to my next question, which is, can you like recommend some must-see, read, listen to content for my listeners that are on their journey in beats, trying to create beats and trying to create music and stuff like that? Like, it can be anything, a documentary, a book, YouTube tutorials, podcasts such as this, anything, man, that you can recommend from your point of view that, because every time I ask a guest this, they go into a different realm, like, so it's opening your mind to different sounds and the way different people look at creating music and thinking about life and thinking about, so that's what this question alludes to,
Making Beats by Joe Schloss, who originally was a dissertation. Making Beats is an incredibly dope book. It's older, but it's still current in the way that it pertains to beat making culture. Like the Global Beat Cipher. We put out 101, 102 beat tapes, and our archives are not only on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. You can download the beats for free, the beat tapes for free, but we also have the streams on the Today's Speaker Sound YouTube channel. And it's a repository of knowledge, beats, dopeness, and interviews, in-depth interviews with like OGs like Buck Wild, Doug Infinite, about like the Chicago underground hip hop scene, or we've had tons of guests on there. Stolen Drums, people like that asking, just chopping it up about beats. I'm trying to think about like tutorials. I like Busy Work Beats, his tutorials. Documentary. You gotta watch Sample This, about the history of hip hop. Apache and his influence, and how beats came to be. The story of DJ Kool Herc, the inception of hip-hop beats and beatmaking as we know it. Scratch by Doug Prey is a seminal documentary that every hip-hop and beatmaker should watch. Beat Street, Wild Style, things like that. But I think that those documentaries sample this. Copyright Criminals, another documentary that every beatmaker should watch.
Yeah, every single one of these I'm gonna put into the description of the show, just so people can have a link that they can just click on. Boom, it takes them directly to what you recommended, man. I put it in the artist recommendations box, you know what I mean, in the description of the show, man. So listen, wherever you listening to this show, go ahead and check out the description. Don't just look at click on it and then just listen to it. Go ahead and read through. You can learn something new, man, or share that through your social medias and somebody else can learn something, so each one teach one, man. But yeah, man, so I've been checking out your social medias, man, Today's Future Sound, all that type of stuff. And I always see you using like Ableton DAW and a controller as well, man, which you use the DAW, the controller like a SP404, man. So, and then you also use Koala Sampler. So like out of these musical equipments or DAWs, like to craft your beats, which one is the most important to you in creating your own music,
So my main DAWs are FL Studio, which I've been using since '99, pretty well, and Ableton Live. But I almost always use Live with the Ableton Push 2. It changes the entire workflow, and not only for making beats and producing, but for performing, for recording and performing. It's a game changer. That's why at Today's Future Sound, we teach kids on Ableton Push 2. It's a total game changer. I put it against anything. It's incredibly powerful the way you can chop samples, manipulate things, perform live, do beats on the fly. I use Koala like once, maybe twice, and it's amazing. It's an incredibly powerful program. But FL Studio and Ableton, those are the main things. I have an SP555 I haven't used much. I wish I used Koala more. I wish I knew it more. I wish I had the time for it. But I just go to FL Studio and Ableton. And I think Ableton is one of the most incredible programs ever made. I love that FL Studio too. I can program, beats really well with the mouse on that. I use the push to control Ableton in general. Sometimes use the mouse, but yeah, the push 2 and a ton of plugins.
Yeah, bro. Yo, so how do you manage your family time and obligations with, creating music? Do you have any tips for beat makers with families, or you may not have a family yet? You just solo dolo.
Poorly, very poorly. I don't have kids. I don't have a family per se, aside from my nuclear family, like siblings and my dad, my mom, step parents. But I think it's about carving out time for yourself and understanding that that's an important part of self-care that you need for your artistic practice and your mental health and whatever your artistic output, which is part of your wellness. I would believe. It's part of your career. It's part of your career. But I think creating time, whether it's at nighttime, in the morning before people get up, or finding time to go out and meet up with other beat makers and really saying to your family, how important that is, and identifying the importance of that, right, to your well-being.
Yeah, man. So I gotta ask this, man. You know, going through your discography and SoundClouds and everything like that, man, I noticed the track with Kilroy was here, man. So who just performed on, I think, Today's Future Sound showcase maybe a couple weeks ago or something like that for the first time, because he's in town, you know, in school. So, but the track is called Thousands of Days Ago. But then you also have other albums like Filthy Australia, volumes 1 and 2, some best of the Global Beat Cypher Flip beat tapes, all fire, by the way. Can you tell us how these like instrumentals came together and with your, you know, what and like what was the inspiration behind these as well? You know, it's kind of, you know, a lot of different MCs are incorporated with that, these beat tapes and these ciphers and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, you know, just a little bit of background, you know.
The collaborations with Kilroy came together through my contacting him on Instagram and having him join us on the Global Beat Cypher. And we made 3 or 4 beats. Thousands of Days Ago was using his drum, one of his kill packs, one of his drum packs. And I know, so we used the kill pack, whether the kill pack volume 2 or volume 3 from Thousands of Days Ago. But I noticed he was doing a lot of kind of footwork and drum and bass sounding stuff. I really respected him pushing boundaries like that. So I suggested that we do something in between, you know, lo-fi, boom bap, and footwork and drum and bass and house. And we used a bunch of plugins and the drum sounds and samples from the Global Beat Cypher sample pack, which is where all of our flips came together. We do collaborative flips for the weekly cypher that I, you know, host and broadcast, etc.
So yeah, Filthy Australia 2 was after I had gone to Australia, worked with some of my students there, worked with local MCs, singers, and other beat makers there. And then I put out volume 1 and 2 of the best of Global Beat Cypher flips, just as some desperate like Bandcamp Friday attempt and way to put my music out there. But really the works that I'm most proud of and that are being released the most really officially, is the kind of precursor beat tape or the prelude beat tape from the collective or project that we're calling Gldnmnd, myself and Ambata Ambush, which looks like it's going to be a collaborative beat tape, mostly my beats, some of his beats, and then we're releasing the kind of second part of that. The main thing is our Opus, which is a rap album, which I did all the beats except for one on. He did one of the beats, and then he did the scratches and the raps. I collaborated on a beat, you know, beats like with Vo, with Maitre D, with Cousin Kev, other people like that. And then another batch of beats, which I think would be some of the best beats I've made in years. So another batch of beats is being used for the album that I'm putting out with Defy, or Defi, who's a really, really dope MC from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yeah, and they're all beats from Global Beat Cypher, from the sample packs, from, you know, 100 weeks or 70 weeks of Global Beat Cypher, and that's how they came about. Just having to make beats every week from dope sample packs and being held accountable by putting on the live stream of the event and not wanting to show up empty-handed. So, yeah, I really was practicing techniques, learning from other members of the Global Beat Cypher, doing a lot of virtual collaborations on Zoom, even some in-person collaborations when I started to travel again, and just really being pushed forward and by the accountability, the frequency of how often I was making beats and how many I was making per week, and the exchange of information, really focusing on that and talking and building relationships with people like DJ Prominent, Kilroy, Urban Acoustics, Works, Matty J, all of whom I collaborated with. So, how best to listen to that? I mean, I would listen to it on albums and on my SoundCloud, or on the Today's Future Sound SoundCloud, where you can stream it all for free, or on Bandcamp, and then also listen to the albums that are coming out in the next year or so. And you can also listen on Spotify and buy stuff on Bandcamp. The singles with Kilroy. I have two more singles with Kilroy. We were thinking about putting it out as an EP.
Yeah, man. Yo, so y'all heard him, man. SoundCloud, Bandcamp, Spotify. Check out Today's Future Sound, the Global Beat Cypher, man. He hosted with some amazing, you just named them, Matty J, Works, like some other dope producers that I want to have on the show as well, man. So, but yeah, that brings me to my next one, which you're definitely in, like, you're definitely in the category of, you know, I mean, definitely hip hop and teaching others and instructional and building and not destroying, all that type of stuff, man. So let's get into the history, man. The 4 pillars of hip hop: DJing, MCing, breaking, and graphing. Which element did you begin your journey with? And then also, how did it affect your life when you discovered that specific element of hip hop?
Which did I begin with? Man, that's hard to say, because it could have been like DJing and beat making, but then I was also trying to rap and, you know, freestyle. I really wanted to break, but I was terrible at it. I wanted to do graffiti, but I was terrible at it. So I'd say DJing and beat making, and then also MCing kind of concurrently. I don't consider myself an MC. I can MC, I can freestyle, I can host, I can write bars. I'm not the best, but I've been around the best. So I can hold my own, and I do that when I teach. I freestyle pretty much every time I teach. I do a demo where I make a beat in less than 2 minutes, and then I do a freestyle, observational freestyle about things around me, and using words that the kids or my students give me to demonstrate, you know, a decent freestyle prowess. But really, you know, beat making and experimenting with manipulating sounds on the computer early on when I was like 11 or 12 in 6th grade.
Word, yo. This is a game I created, man. It's called Superheroes. You play the game by naming your childhood, teenager, and adult DJ or / beat maker or music producer superheroes, and just tell us why they were so important at those specific times in your life, you know? Oh yeah, major key. No genres off limits, bro.
I mean, DJ Muggs and Q-Tip were the ones who got me into hip-hop, essentially, with Scenario by Tribe Called Quest and Insane in the Membrane by Cypress Hill. So they were superheroes to me, who were DJs and beat makers and MCs, and that's in 5th grade what captured me and really got me into it. Later, you know, DJ Shadow, like I said, Portishead, Jeff Barrows, Tricky, DJ Premier, the Beastie Boys and Mario Caldedo Jr. for producing the Beastie Boy records, Pete Rock and CL Smooth, you know, like Pete Rock as a producer and DJ, Invisible Scratch Pickles, and, you know, I would say also the Wise Guys from England, and what's his name, DJ Theo, DJ Touche, who's a killer beat maker and turntablist. And then I had three major revolutions in my producing, or major influences. You have Sacred Hoop versus Murphy, who I named before, who really shaped my sound and helped me to understand what you could sample, him and Prince Paul, and like really expanding my mind in terms of things you could sample. Then meeting Mofono, who I saw him perform with an analog synth and play Funky Worm live and program drums on an MPC and scratch and cut and play, you know, with a CDJ, and just blew my mind. And I learned about glissando analog synths, and after that that became like part of my signature sound. I learned about analog synths, and Mofono, DJ Centipede, who's one of the dopest beat makers and DJs in the Bay Area, probably California. He's in DJ Shadow's crew. He's just totally underrated and incredibly talented, really big influence. Meeting Bossosaurus, they were really into analog synthesizers as well. Had a huge collection of them and really influenced me in that way, and getting me into using glitching as well.
Social change in the place.
trained in the barracks with a gang like a phalanx, a caravan of courage, knowledge typed in italics. On the front line, battling, gun damage, and neck snapper like crashing and whiplash, and we're smashing it. Never passive in a passageway, speaking a passage. Keep it massive for the massive, or reeking of hashish. Capture masses like magnets, the iron fragments, like an assassin with a magnum for the mimers. Acting, rifle action, I kick back and I write a tablet. Primal passion for the rap and visualize the graphics. Final packages, fat, no time for the whack shit. The max get them contracts and cereal packets. They come and go like the latest fashion. I stay to make it happen, back in effect with our own label backing. Pen your favorite classics with Australian accents. In a cipher, the freestylers, we the main attractions. We all need to unite, it's only right. We don't battle or fight, it's only right. We just own the open mic light. It's only right. It's only right. It's only right. We all need to unite, it's only right. We don't battle or fight, it's only right. We just own the open mic light. It's only right. It's only right. In the zones, what you see me is seeing things like a medium. Some of these MCs in the scene should be comedians. I'm reading them like books, they shook with triple teaming them. The premium bling gonna ascend like helium. Believing them like God, your squad, I'll be deleting them. If evil's in their eyes, it's demise for your demon friends. Bleed for them, I'm growing stronger, your style's weakening. Keep it increasing, awakening while you're sleeping in the heater in my cerebrum, letting off steam again. Speaking street hymns while people under the steeple sin. Free and in effect, check 1, 2, 3 and them. Being himself and off the meter, he's teetering, leaving seething suckers, sucking it in. Lyrically beating them, reaching out of regions, leading legions to the deepest end. The record spins, find the groove, put the needle in and feed them the fluid they've been needing like intravenous drips. We all need to unite, it's only right. We don't battle or fight, it's only right. We just own the open mic light. It's only right. It's only right. It's only right. We all need to unite, it's only right. We don't battle or fight, it's only right. We just own the open mic light. It's only right. It's only right. It's only right. Oh my god. Oh my god. Take it away, Snap. Oh my god. It's only right. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's only right. Oh my god. Never would he pretend a beacon in the night corner leaps ahead. Weak MCs I shred, then I leave them dead. We speed ahead, thoroughbred like butter the bread spread head to head, and I'm saying what need to be said. The cream de la creme, a freestyle MC with a pen, able to bend by Superman, a beast in his den, representing, etching a SC and cement on instruments with a 6th sense, speaking correct. Hey yo, for real, give me them filthy beats. Social change, VIP, baby. Oh my god.
Hey yo, man, my man Phillip Drummond, episode 49, man. He is all over the world, man. Australia, he's in Poland right now, New York, Cali. He's all over the place, man. Yo, tap into today's future sound, the global beat cipher that's got like 100 and something tracks on it, man. SoundCloud. All the links will be in the description below. Now let's get back into the show. What is today's future sound? Phillip Drummond, no disrespect, Dr. Filthy Beats. What is today's future sound? And then, who are the up and coming, artists or, people that are helping with this outreach program, which is, positively helping our youth. And I say our youth because they are our youth. If you're an adult, then you're supposed to be, mentoring the youth so they can, be builders and not destroyers. You feel me? What's your goal with this organization, which is doing some amazing things, man?
Today's Future Sound is my nonprofit organization based in Oakland, California. We do work in the San Francisco Bay Area and in Oakland, in elementary, middle, and high schools, in juvenile detention and community settings, teaching beat making and doing therapeutic beat making. So using beat making and hip hop culture as a culturally responsive mental health educational and cross-cultural intervention. We also work in LA, we work in New York, we work across the globe in Australia, in Africa, in Latin America, Central America. And as a licensed clinical psychologist and trained psychotherapist, I've combined my passions for social justice, for healing, for beat making, hip hop, and created the therapeutic beat making model, which basically says there's 3 main ways that beat making is therapeutic. The first is the relationship, how you can bring in this really cool equipment and something that's culturally relevant that kids like, people like, and isn't stigmatizing, is actually the opposite of that, and use that to build relationships. And the relationship is the number one predictor of positive therapeutic outcome across all theoretical orientations and therapeutic interventions. So once you got the relationship, you're in and you can do the work. And a large part of the work is the relationship, giving kids and people new relationships instead of maybe old, abusive, coercive, hurtful relationships or disappointing relationships, not getting enough of what they needed from, their parents or other people in their life due to trauma and poverty and other things like that. We can at least provide an experience, an opportunity for access to equipment, beat makers, and a process of creating their own beat tapes and music with like dope covers too, and giving them the know-how and how to do it and the opportunity to do that. The second element or dimension of the therapeutic beat making model is the expressive dimension, the idea of catharsis, that you can channel your anger, your rage, your disappointment, and other feelings too, but in particular, anger and rage and quote unquote negative feelings, and channel them into something constructive and articulate that through beat making, speaking with beats and articulating that and having this release, and then also regulating yourself through repetitive beats and rhythms. It calms down our nervous system. The third dimension is self-concept, how we conceive of ourselves, how we think about ourselves. And there's 2 main ideas here. The first is self-esteem, how we compare ourselves to our ideal sense of self. If we make a dope beat, we get good feedback from our peers, or we're proud of ourselves, our self-esteem goes up. We do something that's good, or that that comes closer to our ideals, we feel better about ourselves. Self-efficacy is the kind of the concept of being able to have an effect on the world and other people in a social context. And particularly for people who've experienced trauma or who feel helpless or powerless, including children, right? And people who've experienced trauma because you're out of control. You're having your boundaries violated. You're out of control of your body and the response it has to these terrible traumatic events. Keep putting the power back into their hands and letting them control the beats and the music and their expression of themselves, and through the relationship, not coercing or forcing them to do something, but giving them autonomy and choice and voice, is really powerful to fight against trauma and to help them to heal and develop a sense of self and a sense of power and control in the world and agency, which is really essential. So what's our goal? Our goal is to empower people, to create opportunities for people, and to help heal, build community, create opportunities for adults with the Global Beat Cipher to heal through beats and have a supportive community where they can showcase their work, create venues for independent artists, bring together our community locally, across the country and across the world/globe, put hip-hop out there, educate people about hip-hop and beat making and its positive uniting power and elements, and educate people about mental health too, and the healing power of hip-hop, to quote my colleague Dr. Raphael Travis, the name of his book, and really push the therapeutic beat-making model and show how hip-hop and beat-making can be used in educational and cross-cultural ways, and to plant seeds in other communities and do that.
Yo, man, much respect to you, your colleagues, everybody that's doing something positive, and just showing that like hip-hop is more than just that one side that may be, glamorized, the whole, money, cash, vehicles, jewelry, all that type of crap. Like there's a deeper thing. That's the foundation of what hip hop, the culture, our culture is, right? Which is to build creative outlets, just keep people safe, having fun, all that type of stuff, man. So it's all in the books, man. But man, I appreciate you for that breakdown, especially, man. Not a lot of people understand the concept between between knowing how to build relationships, or what why you need the relationship part of a interaction with another human being, you know what I mean? So, that's dope, man. I appreciate that, man. Now, like, we know you travel, like on your Instagram, Twitter. Like, we know you travel all over the world, man. Latin America, Poland, Australia, New York, California, the States, everywhere, man. But you're originally from New York, and you know, so like, what is the beat scene like in all of those different areas that you've flown to, and then which one was your favorite as well? And you know, and then you know, how can, you know, others that might be listening to the show support you and the other artists that are doing some amazing things with their talents, you know?
So yeah, I'm from New York, and I do fly all over the place, from New York to the West Coast. I'm from New York originally, but I live and based in Oakland, California. But I do fly to New York often, where I'm from, where I work in the South Bronx at a hip-hop therapy studio a couple times a year, and at other schools in the South Bronx and Manhattan and Brooklyn, and put on events. Wherever I go, I try to put on beat ciphers, beat battles, and beat showcases. The beat scene, what's the beat scene like when I visit? Man, it's hard to say. There's an incredible beat scene in Melbourne, Australia. There's an incredible beat scene in New York, in Toronto, and Montreal, and I haven't been to Montreal yet, but LA, you know, is probably the Mecca, but Oakland is the Bay Area is an incredible scene. Chicago, I imagine, too, Atlanta with Controllerize, London, Paris, you know, all the major cities, but in particular, it seems like in the United States, there's a strong scene in Mexico and Canada. In Chile, there's a dope scene that's building, that's growing, and it's dope there too. In Brazil, in Sao Paulo, Australia's got a dope scene. England, yeah. So it's hard to name my favorite, but Melbourne is dope. New York is dope. LA is dope. Atlanta, Controllerize. I just try to bring the love wherever I go and really create opportunities and network local folks.
Yeah, man, I knew you were going to have a hard time trying to pick which one, because you want to come back to those areas. You know what I'm saying? You know, they have you, you know, ousted as, you know, oh, man, you a traitor, you know, and stuff like that, man. But, yeah, man, I knew it was going to be hard. I just figured I'd ask, man, because, you know, everywhere there's different sounds, different cultures. Everybody's, you know, playing a part, and also, you know, just trying to be creative with their music or artistic expression, you know? So, yeah, man, that's dope, man. So that brings me to my next one, which is like kind of like getting everybody ready for what's to come. It's gonna happen regardless, man. It's here. So, cause you see like different people, you know, like Hit Boy, like Jansport J, and then a lot of different people just participating in the whole thing, man. So, you know, what are your thoughts on beatmakers, on how beatmakers can benefit from, you know, tech like Web3, cryptocurrency, and blockchain, man?
I don't really know much about Web3 or cryptocurrency and blockchain. It seems like a good opportunity if you understand it and know how to leverage it, and if you can market it, just like anything. It could mean not being, you know, with the whole argument for the blockchain and that, which I'm really not well versed in and I do not understand well. But, you know, I see potential, but I don't really know enough to speak with authority on that or really, you know, give answers that are really valuable.
I respect, you know, I appreciate that honesty, man. If you don't know, you still learning and stuff like that, man. I appreciate that. And instead of giving misinformation and stuff like that. So, okay, as we come to the closing, what should the internets look out for from Phillip Drummond, aka Dr. Beats, aka curator for today's future sound, the global beat cipher? You know what I mean? You like ambassador to the beats all over the world. Like, yo, you got so many titles, bro. Yeah, man. What can we look forward to from you in the rest of 2022? And then, how can the internets tap into you? You know, your music, what you're doing with today's future sound, the global beat cipher. go ahead and plug all your socials, your projects, and much more. Anything else you got going on, man. We want to know. We want to know how to tap in with you, stay connected with you as well. Stay connected as well, man.
Look out for the Gldnmnd project with Ambush and Mbada. Look out for Filthy Deaf, or this project I'm doing. We haven't really named it formally, with Defy Phillip Drummond. Look out for the joint beat tape, the Gldnmnd beat tape we're releasing before that Gldnmnd album. Look out for more beat tapes, output on my SoundCloud, releasing more stuff on Spotify, more collaborations with Kilroy, Matty J, DJ Prominent, other MCs as well, and other beat makers, and more events, and therapeutic beat making articles and chapters and stuff like that. You can tap into my music. You can listen to my music on Spotify. I'm Phillip Drummond on Spotify. Phillip Drummond on SoundCloud. Phillip Drummond with 2 L's and 2 M's. PhillipDrummond.bandcamp.com if you want to support there. I put a lot of stuff on SoundCloud that isn't on Spotify and other streaming platforms. So both the Today's Future SoundCloud has probably the greatest number of my beats, and I put together playlists of hundreds of my beats from that cipher. And I don't put all of them up on my Phillip Drummond SoundCloud, but I do put some up. But Instagram, Phillip Drummond, Instagram, I put up a lot of stuff there. At Phillip Drummond, I'm at Filthy Drummond with 1 L on Twitter, but I'm much more on Instagram, YouTube, youtube.com/Phillip Drummond. Instagram's really like the main one. Also, be sure to follow at Today's Future Sound on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitch, the Global Beat Cipher, hashtag Global Beat Cipher, hashtag Tales of a Traveling Beat Doctor. Check it out. Support. I plan to drop vinyl and tapes of the upcoming projects. I'm really proud of them. I have merch that I've already sold out of, the t-shirts, the Phillip Drummond Ableton Push Different Strokes t-shirt, which is designed by Ayesa Love. Got more t-shirts and dope gear dropping with Today's Future Sound. So just stay tapped in with us. Follow us on social media, and today'sfuturesound.org, filthybeats.com, PHILTHY beats, BEATS.com. And I hope that we can continue to collaborate and build this beat scene.
Yeah, bro. Yo, thank you for allowing me to spotlight you, man, on episode number 49 of The Rec Show. Man, amazing episode, y'all. I hope y'all rewind this, get more jewels. I know the volume in the first part was a little bit, not standard for this show, but you got to work with what you work with, and you do the best that you can, but hopefully y'all understand it. I tried to do as best as I could so y'all can understand it, but man, still crazy gems dropped in this from Dr. Beats, aka Phillip Drummond. So thank you again for being on the show, man. We appreciate you. And man, we're gonna keep growing, man. Episode 49, we got one more to episode 50, man. I want to thank y'all for always tapping in, sharing this. Shout out to my homie Naja Head. Shout out to moms for being supporters on the Bandcamp. Man, we just gonna keep growing. So there's going to be a giveaway for episode number 50. Alright, so details are going to be announced this week, so make sure you tap in for the potential to be one of the winners announced on episode number 50. Alright, so we know it's Mother's Day. Y'all better call your moms. Y'all better show love to all the moms in your family, man. And shout out to moms, man. Moms, you raised a good son. You raised good sons, good daughters. We all alive right now. You know what I mean? We building. We doing our things. The grandbabies is all in effect. You know what I mean? So shout out to you, moms. And man, happy Mother's Day to all the amazing women that are out there, man. Shout out to y'all. Much respect. We honor y'all. You know what I mean? And not just on one day. Moms always said, Don't be trying to bring me flowers on one day just because they said so on the calendar. Show it every single day. You know what I mean? And that's what we're gonna do. I was supposed to be back in the States by now, but I'm gonna be back there soon, man. So we can actually show love physically, man. I ain't seen you in 4 years, so it's kind of hurting my spirit, but we're gonna be all right, man. So, peace and love to everybody. Take care of your mentals, all that jazz, man. Reach out if you're having some issues, man. Reach out to somebody, either anonymously or, you know what I mean, or the normal way, man. But either way, reach out, man. You're not alone. We appreciate you, man. Every life is valuable. So yeah, man, we'll see you on episode number 50 of the Rec Show podcast. Appreciate y'all for tapping in with me. Peace and love, everybody.
soldier fi stop. Question at the dreadlock. When it's a problem with the bomb, I know exactly my rights. I'm not trying to take you for fool. It's 9 o'clock in the night. It just a walk in a looks in a trouble in New York City. But of course, there is some problem cause I'm a natty. Policeman and soldier fi stop. Question at the dreadlock. Policeman and soldier fi stop. Question at the dreadlock. Policeman and soldier fi stop. Question at the dreadlock. Policeman and soldier fi stop. Question at the dreadlock. It's a problem with the bomb. I'm just looking for this. white lights are humans. And these are the mutants.
They tell like younger kids or other producers like that's cheating, you can't really be selfish, but bro, like when it comes to this producing shit, you can do whatever you want.
You've been listening to the Rec Show podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Remember 3 things. Believe in your music. Take care of your mentals. Become the best version of yourself. Until the next one, Gldnmnd signing off. Peace and love, yo.
To be the best, you got to work overtime. To be the best, you got to work overtime.
These young boys getting better. This is not like the NBA when you can retire. Like this is, you have to keep going.